everybody. Today is January the 15th. It is MLK Day, which means that I am off of work today. But I had a conference at the girls' school today. I had parent-teacher conferences today, which was cool. And, ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. And I also had an interview this morning to work in the school system. Great. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I have another interview on Wednesday. With a panel. And that will be my final interview. And yeah, talking to the person that conducted my interview today, I'm just going through the formalities. So, fingers crossed, I had a job. So, today, I've recorded some other footage from like the day that I moved, which was Saturday. And I'll post that at some point, y'all. It's like my camera, I finally got the charger to my camera. But now it's like, I just don't be wanting to edit. Oh my God. But anyway, today's video is because I was having a conversation with my dad earlier today about like relationships and stuff like that. And I will be the first one to say that I have some very old-fashioned views about relationships, but I don't really talk to people about them very much. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna record a video and get some feedback from y'all on what do y'all think about, I don't even want to say relationships, I'll say marriage, because I think relationship and marriage are two very different things. But so for example, I have this idea that let me back up. Okay, when it comes to me and working, or me in school, or me and anything of that nature, depending on who you're talking to, it can appear that I am not very ambitious about either of the two, which is somewhat true and then not true at the same time. So for anybody that knows me knows that I work, and I work very hard, and I do okay, you know, I do good for myself or whatever. So it's not that I don't want to work. I do what I gotta do, because, you know, I'm a whole G in these streets. But what it is that, like, I desire to be married, of course, but I want to be a homemaker. Not just a stay-at-home mom, not just a wife, but I want to be a homemaker. I'm talking like meal planning, home management binder, making sure that, you know, when my family goes to maybe visit another family, whether it be for a cookout or dinner or whatever, you know, I have appetizer recipes on deck that, you know, I can turn to or whatever. You know, I want to represent my family and I want to represent them well. To me, I believe that is what I was created to do. So whether my children, I have, you know, children that are young or children that are school age, I feel that the job never stops. Like currently, because I do work, I am not able to be as accessible for my children. The private school that they go to is a Christian school, and they have a lot of volunteer opportunities because the parents and the staff are what makes the school run, you know. So they don't have like lunch ladies. We actually have moms that volunteer their time and come in and they cook the meals for the kids, and you know, they get together and they put on the productions for like the theater and things like that. So it's very community based, and I love that. But right now, because I work, I do not have time to devote to that, and I think that that's important. I think being a mom is more than just providing stuff for my kids. I think it's, you know, it's their emotional well-being, their psychological well-being, spiritual well-being, and stuff like that. And because I'm stretched so thin and I wear so many hats, I can't effectively do those things the way that I would like to. So yeah, I just think like things to me in my life, I'm not gonna say in general, I'll just speak for myself, I just think that things should be a lot more old school. Like, my husband should go and make the money. too. I ain't talking just no vacuuming and mopping. I'm talking about baseboards and cleaning the drapes and window seals, and you know what I'm saying, making sure that all of our home home care is up to date, and you know, keeping record of repairs and things that we have to have done in the house, and you know, keeping a schedule of the maintenance of our vehicles, and I mean a freaking well-oiled machine. And the reason that I feel that way is because I believe when people do what they are good at or what they were created to do, again, my opinion, things just work a lot better. Like, I'm a lot happier when I'm not doing a million things. I'm good at a lot of stuff, but I don't think that I'm very effective at a lot of stuff because I am stretched so thin. So I believe if my husband's sole job is to be a provider, a protector, all the things that the Bible has called husbands to be, and he's not having to concern himself with all the other things that a woman was called to be, he could be effective. I could support my husband and his goals and his dreams and his job, help him to reach the different, you know, levels of his career that he's trying to accomplish, if I were not stretched so thin. And I also believe the same to be true for a man. If a man is not having to wear so many hats and being stretched so thin, I believe that he could be a lot more effective in what it is that he does. Now, am I saying that like a man shouldn't cook and he shouldn't clean all that? I'm not saying all that, no. I'm just saying that I'm very okay with gender roles. Am I saying like women can't do what men do? It is not that deep. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that I believe if things were more like that, I think that things would be a lot better. We got a lot of young ladies out here that don't know how to conduct themselves as such because they had nobody to teach them. I think it is my job as a woman to teach my little girls how to be women. I think it's my job to teach them how to take care of themselves and take care of a home, and how to eventually one day be a wife. You know, a lot of young ladies nowadays do not have a reference point to draw from in that area, because somewhere along the lines that's just kind of been lost. I would love, like in a perfect world, like to have like a group of moms or a group of women that get together and, you know, encourage one another, swap recipes or swap you know, ideas or what is the word I'm looking for, advice on different things. Like, I cloth diapered Kasdan, and I just had to like find like information on it on the internet. I didn't have anyone that I could pick up the phone and be like, so when you cloth diapered your child, like, how did you strip the diapers, and what worked for you, and what are some different things that you try? I would just like to have more of like a community of women that's what we do. We get together, maybe have a potluck, and, you know, like I said, encourage one another, maybe help each other with carpooling and things like that. Like, maybe, you know, this weekend, you know, I'll keep the kids so you and your husband can have a date night, and, you know, or maybe the first Saturday of every month, you know, your kids come hang out with us and have a play date, and, you know, you and your husband go out for like a date night or spend some time together, whatever the case may be. And then maybe the, you know, the third Friday or Saturday of every month, vice versa. I just think like the feeling of community is not as strong anymore. And also just the roles, I guess. I really want to tread light when I say that, because people get real sensitive about gender roles, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's what I believe and what works for me. I just think we've gotten so far away from that to the point where like the balance, or the balance of order, or whatever you want to call it, is so off. Like, all these women want to be bad chicks. Like, how about you be a phenomenal mother? How about you be a phenomenal woman? How about you, you know, like, can you be good at baking? Like, do people bake anymore? Like, you know, like, can you be good at something other than like like dancing or you know, looking cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing wrong with looking cute. Look cute, girl. Do your thing. But I'm just saying, like, can we also be really good at other things too? Other things that are important. I think we get so like consumed with stuff that doesn't matter anymore, like material things and this whole reality TV, social media thing. Like, everybody wants to be something or somebody that they're not. And like, I just think, you know, we should just get back to what's important. And what is important to me is definitely may not be important to the next person, because it needs to be a little bit of everybody to make the world go round. But for me, you know, I was telling my dad, I just think whoever my husband gonna be, he's gonna have to be comfortable with that. And I'm gonna have to be comfortable with whatever comes along with it. So if that means that my husband works a lot, then that's something that I have to be prepared for. But like I said, that's just something that works for me. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that today because it was kind of interesting. We had like a 2-hour-long conversation about that. And I do somewhat blame my dad for me having those kind of ideas and views, because that's always been the type of man that my father was. His like wife didn't have to work because my dad took care of that. But in return, you know, he did have expectations that the home should be taken care of. And I think that's only fair. If I don't gotta go to work, I think it's my job to make sure there's food in the house, make sure that we have household, you know, things that we need, whether it be tissue, paper towels, or cleaning supplies, or whatever. Like, and I'm not saying that like my husband will have to pay all the bills and stuff like that, because I am a woman of financial means. I'm just saying, I want to be a homemaker. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I'm curious, like, what do other people think? Like, is the new way of things today where, you know, they split everything 50-50, she pay half the mortgage, she pay half the mortgage, she pay half the lights and all that stuff, or the way that it used to be, as far as like where the man was like the breadwinner and the provider, and the woman was more of a homemaker? I just want to know what other people think. But that's what I think. So let me know what y'all thinking or whatever. Talk to me, tell me something, because I'm curious.